Yo, 2006 Hyundai Entourage. It's got a little charge light action going on, amongst other things. I think that's their big concern. I'm going to test the alternator. I have one of these doojamahickeys. As you can see, the needle says it's just under 12.5 volts. Hooked up to the battery. I'm going to start the car and put a load on this alternator and see what it says. I got the car running. It's down under 12 volts, so it's probably not charging at all. I can turn this up and put some amperage in it. 50 amps, it's under 12 volts. A big vehicle like this it's probably got a 60 to 80 amp alternator in it, so I should be able to turn this up to over 50 amps, and it should be 14.5 volts. So it's probably just running off of the battery right now. It probably ain't no good. It looks like the alternator's net greasy thing right there. It's buried pretty good. Suppose I'm going to start by disconnecting this negative battery terminal. It's supposed to be a 10 millimeter. Somebody put this terminal end on here though, so now it's a 13. I just got to make sure that doesn't touch back off on that negative there. Get this out of the way somehow. I'm going to get this cover off. There should be 4 10 millimeters on this. Slightly buried in between the radiator fan and the engine. This is the engine oil dipstick, so you know where I'm looking. I have a couple of connectors for the alternator here. Kind of push my thumb in here to turn it upside down so I can get at that bolt for the positive terminal on the alternator. That's probably a 12 millimeter. I actually have like a 12 millimeter swivel socket and a 3-foot extension on here. Make it a little easier for me to get off that way. So I can get that out of the way. This other connector on the back of the alternator, it's got like a little push clip on it. I'm gonna try to get my hand in here, and I got this connector off. I had to push the back of it in and then pull it out. That brown connector on the alternator. Passenger tires coming off. That's a 21 millimeter. I have a filth shield here that I have to take off. Looks like there's 3 10 millimeters on this. I wrote down my own funky little belt diagram. There's a tensioner right here. It's hydraulic. There's a 19 millimeter on this tensioner. Turn my ratchet to off. And since it's hydraulic, I don't want to just reef on it real fast either, because once in a while bad things happen with these hydraulics. Sometimes you can blow them right out. I'm just going to kind of go a little slow and unload that tensioner and get this belt off of here. It looks like some kind of strange hell everywhere, but whatever. Don't care. Looks like there's an idler pulley next to this alternator that might be in my way. So I'm going to take that off. There's a dust cap on it. I just popped that off with a pry bar and it went flying I don't know where. There's a 14 millimeter on that. This bottom alternator bolt, that's a 14 millimeter. Then there's one more 14 millimeter on the top of it. Looks like they're both the same length. It doesn't look like the thing's gonna come out from the bottom. It's pretty tight crammed in there. I don't know how I'm going to get this out yet, but I'm going to loosen it up for now. Let's get in here with a pry bar and pry the thing off of all of the everything. Okay, let's see what kind of amazing story this is going to turn out to be. For lack of a better words, this thing is really crammed in here. I'm going to unbolt this low side air conditioning line. That's a 10 millimeter. That might be less crammed in there now. Try to get it out now. I got you. The junk is out. I'm gonna go get that tested, and I'm probably gonna wind up getting an alternator, of course. I have a Mexican remanufactured alternator I'm gonna toss in here. Hopefully it'll go in easier than it came out. I have gravity on my side. Should be okay. Gravity's great. We love gravity. That wire that goes down to the AC compressor was kind of getting in my way and bothering me, but I think I got this thing. I'm going to try to start these bolts from up here. Looks like a little easier getting these topside. Given these are fine thread bolts, as a guess, I would say the torque on these would probably be 28 to 32 foot-pounds. Now I got these connectors to contend with. All kinds of room, let me tell you. Holy wowzers. This pulley will probably go on top side a lot easier too. I would imagine the torque on this is the same as the alternator. The dusty cap. I posted my custom belt diagram. I got a victim. Yo.
Hey, my friend Rick.
Yo.
How are you?
I'm abnormally aware.
What do you mean?
I don't know what I mean. What do I mean? What you mean?
I don't know. You are busy today or?
Yeah, I'm still working on this hoopty. I'll probably call you in about an hour and tell you how I'm doing on this thing, and then I'll probably be able to look at that.
In case you do the car tomorrow, then you can finish tomorrow, right?
I can do whatever I want.
Okay.
I'm a YouTube star.
Okay, that's fine. The lady want to change the spark plastic.
Okay, well, first I gotta figure out what the heck you're talking about, because I can't really understand you. So I'll call you in an hour or two, and then I'll look at the thing and see what we can figure out.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you later.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Nothing like getting lost in translation with the Guadalajarans. Can you see me now? Just go nice and slow and easy again with that hydraulic tensioner. Before I get too carried away with this obscene gesture, I'm gonna plug this thing in, and I'm gonna see if it works. I don't want to put it all together just yet, because if I did something wrong, I'm gonna have to take it all back apart. Oh! We got 14.5 volts. Turn this little dial up a little bit. 50 amps, looks good. Wow, looks like a 120 amp alternator. 12.5 volts at about 115 amps. That's good. Did you get that? Did you get that? Did you get that? If you're really anal retentive, I'd say torque these to 8 foot-pounds. These get torqued to 80 foot-pounds. These 4 bolts I would tighten to 4 foot-pounds so you don't piss off the next guy that's got to do an oil change. You don't need to over-tighten these things. The brake light and the ABS light turned off. The airbag light's on because there's actually a problem with it, and the TPMS light because there's actually a problem with that. They said the check engine light was on and the whole entire dashboard was all lit up before it came here. The reason why is because when you get under 9.5 volts on a vehicle, it has no ability to make a 5 volt reference signal, and when the 5 volt reference signal goes away, then a whole bunch of stuff just gets all buggy and starts turning on and screwing up for you. So the whole reason why they had all of them problems was because the car wasn't charging and it wasn't making a proper 5 volt reference signal. And now there's just as many lights on as there was the day before yesterday, so I'm gonna call this a fix. Okay, bye.